sitting here with Freya, and we're going to talk about some of her work because I find her really inspiring. I shall say she's in her late 80s, and I simply love her wood carving. And I want to ask her a few questions to draw out of her where this talent came from and what she's done in her life. Freya, when did you start wood carving?
Well, I quite accidentally, as a youngster, probably 12 or 13, I had been brought up more or less as a boy, which I didn't realise until quite a good few years later, but that's neither here nor there. And I, instead of having toys, was interested in knives and bicycles, and I used a knife, and I'm very fond of knives, and I'm still fond of knives, and I carved with an ordinary knife a lump of wood into a rather strange head. I don't know why. It was two African faces, one on top of another. I have no idea what caused me to use that as subject matter. I just don't know, and I did it. And there was quite a time lapse in between. But I think my father, who was hardly ever around, came home from somewhere or the other and saw and thought that it might be an idea if I was taught wood carving. And there was a lady in the village where we were living at the time, I was living with my mother, who carved church pews. She at least took the trouble to find somebody, and she taught me how to sharpen wood carving tools, which was wonderful for me to learn how to do it properly. But I had been with her for a very short time before my mother, who was a very, very restless, unfulfilled person and very, very dominant, moved again. All I got was how to sharpen wood carving tools, but on the other hand, as it came to me quite naturally, maybe I didn't need any more lessons anyway. It was a long time before I started again. I went through a very unfortunate time in my life. Basically, I didn't understand why, but I had never ever had any love, and I didn't realise what was lacking in my life because I wasn't mixing with other people, other children, and I didn't know that other children were cuddled and loved. And it was a long time before I realised in my life that what I was looking for was love, and never found it.
It's remarkable that you've done these beautiful wood carvings with virtually no encouragement at all.
No encouragement at all. Quite honestly, there's nobody's, apart from the fact this woodcarver said I was a natural. That's the only person that's ever really commented upon the fact that I would carve. When I did show my mamma something or the other, she said, what can I do with that? You see, it was an abstract design. As I say, I was 20 years early.
That's really interesting. Now, can you expand a bit on that you felt you were born 20 years before your time? Because you've done some amazing work here.
Oh, that, yes, yeah, well...
Can you describe it? I don't know how to describe it, really.
To me it was interesting thinking about what would happen. I don't know why I suddenly thought about it. It's rather an odd thing to think about. What would happen when something happened to this planet, which I knew was going to happen to it, and that maybe something would survive. And that was my feeling, that something would be able to go underground in a mountain or in the river or in the sea or somewhere, and some life would become similar to the human form but not necessarily the same. And this was long before the interest of people was suddenly taken up by finding bones of dinosaurs and whatever.
Another one here that is incredibly powerful. How would you describe that one?
Oh, That's black power. Black power. I love that. They have a lot of power, and some of them are very handsome. And to me, that is the black power, and that is what that is called. That is black power. And most people don't like that. It's too much for them. They can't take the feeling behind that.
This is another one that I absolutely love.
Oh no, I
How
love
would you describe that one?
Purity. He's completely pure. Well, he's a prophet.
He's very tall and thin, and he was made out of a piece of...
Just a piece of firewood, because I hadn't got any wood at all. I just used a piece of firewood because I felt I wanted to carve. I had to. I can't go very long without creating something with my hands.
She's a very tall, thin figure with a long, tall hat and a rather nice curve.
Yeah.
And you were saying that it was, Sarah, that it was reminded you of Viking.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Lewis chessmen, the Viking chessmen.
Oh yeah.
Very, very similar.
Well, that's very, very odd because Paddy calling me Freya, I'm the Viking goddess. So it's all a bit odd, isn't it?
So it seems that you've picked up all kinds of things.
Yes, I pick up vibes.
Yes.
Yeah, vibes. Yeah.
But you were saying that the double-headed figure you referred to earlier, you found a picture years later.
Oh
in
yes.
a magazine.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yes, and you almost foretold these
Yeah,
creatures that they've discovered in the deep, the African pictures, because you wouldn't have seen that as a child all those years ago.
No, quite impossible.
Fine, and thank you so much, Freya. I've loved talking to you, and we've been absolutely amazed, Sarah, haven't we, with what we've seen this afternoon.
It's been incredible to meet you.
Well,
You're such an inspiration.
can I say that to me, without somebody to that will help you and advise you, encourage you when you need help, is the most important.
But what I find really exciting is the fact that you're now coming back to your woodwork, and if we've got any say in it, we're going to make sure you come back to your woodwork and get started. You've got a lot of time to make up, Freya.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to make sure that you do.
But as I say, the whole thing about it is I'm rather cross. I left it such a hell of a long time.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. It's never too late.